This morning, our call to worship is taken from words attributed to Kalidasa. Kalidasa is a classical Sanskrit author who is often considered to be the greatest poet and playwright of ancient India. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence. The bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day.
But before that, can I have a amen to the sanctuary? Amen. Little, is it not on? I'm sorry, they told me there it's always on. Okay. How's that? Better. Okay, let's do that again. Maybe not a amen, a hurrah! Hurrah! We're back in the sanctuary, and I think great gratitude goes to Sue and Patrick and the whole building team, because we're only out of this room for 4 weeks. Woo! And Jim, so sorry, Jim. Anyway, I think it looks lovely, and I believe we get the labyrinth in 2 weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. So that'll be an added delight. So speaking of delight, I'm going to light the chalice, the symbol of our faith. If you are online, please light your chalice or the candle in your heart as I light the chalice here in the sanctuary. Then type into the chat where you are lighting. These chalice lighting words are from Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. I don't know if they're lighting, putting it in the chat, but we'll go ahead with the affirmation. Please stand as you in body and/or spirit for the affirmation, and join me in saying the affirmation and remain standing for the opening hymn. You'll find the affirmation on the screen or in the order of service. It is also inscribed in many of our hearts. We say it in English and in Spanish as a symbol of the many languages spoken in this community and beyond, the many languages of the soul. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls may grow into harmony with the divine. This do we covenant with one another. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. La búsqueda de la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es su oración. Habitar juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad y servir a la humanidad juntos. con el fin de que todos las almas puedan armonios con lo divino. Esto es lo que pactamos unos con otros. The opening hymn today is number 151 in the gray hymnal, I Wish I Knew How. Land acknowledgement candle. We light this candle in recognition of the Tongan and Wet'suwet'en indigenous people who were the first humans to inhabit and sustain this land thousands of years before settler colonizers arrived. We honor the resilience of these indigenous peoples in the face of devastating harm. And we lift up the resilience of their neighboring tribe to the south, the Amamutsun tribal band, with whom we are working to preserve their sacred land of Hiristap and to ensure that their culture continues to thrive. Welcome. Welcome to worship at the First Unitarian Church of San Jose. I think I need to lower this a little bit. Oh, yeah. Welcome to worship at the First Unitarian Church of San Jose, where we are seekers. Wherever you are on your faith and spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Our welcome is broad and inclusive. Here we cherish diversity among us, including gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, and physical ability. This is a safe place to bring your whole self. I'm Dena Dickinson. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a 75-year-old woman with gray hair, and today I'm wearing a green shirt and black slacks and jacket. I'm one of the worship associates, and I'm pleased to be involved in the service today, working with our guest minister, Reverend Dr. Jeanne Foster. Reverend Foster, Professor Emerita at St. Mary's College of California, is a Unitarian Universalist minister who has spoken in pulpits as far-ranging as London, New Orleans, and San Francisco, and was the minister for the UU Fellowship in Modesto. She earned a PhD from the Graduate Theological Union in the interdisciplinary area of religion, literature, and the arts. Her service today is titled "The Horse That Almost Got Away," or "Following Your Dreams." Intriguing title. How do we support our world of dreams to feed our spirit and creative soul? I want to thank those who assisted with the service today and are assisting. And thank you for being here today. If you are new or visiting, thank you for becoming part of this community, whether it is for just today or for the rest of your life. After the service, please join us in Hattie Porter Hall next door through the double doors, where there's a welcome table where you can find more information about the church and our faith, and a pastoral care table if you need a listening ear. I have just one announcement, and that is that Bruce Halen and Brian Shaner are planning the second annual Afternoon at the Park event on August 20th at 1 p.m. to see the San Jose Giants play baseball. It was real fun last year. I attended. See Brian or Bruce for details, and Brian is here and he'll be at the welcome table today. And now let's exchange greetings with our friends who are joining us on Zoom. You know, the Zoom community. Okay, and now it's time for all ages, Story for All Ages, which will is a story read today by Haley. And all of you who are young at heart, or children are young at heart and so motivated, please join us in the circle for the story.
All right, can you hear me? Okay, that's what I thought. All right, there we go. All righty, we have The Almost Impossible Thing. All right. Yeah, I'm reading it this way. No. Once upon a time, there was a dream. All A dream that tried to take shape. The dream that didn't know that it had no shape. Or that others couldn't see it at all. Unless it was kept in a tiny box. And never moved from its place in the closet where sunlight couldn't reach it. The dream knew none of this. The dream knew only that it was too big for its home. And too alive to sit in one place. So it pulled and it pushed. And it pushed and it pulled. Until one day, the power of that dream turned its box into we got pictures? Okay, there we go. A rocket ship that flew into the light and sparkled with every color that people could see. And even a few that they couldn't. Yep. For Osley, Ozcan, and Can. The end. So our dreams can be very big. Even if never everyone else can't see them, they're there at all times. So let's get ready. Children's blessing? Yes, children's blessing.
Mechanical difficulties, or fashion difficulties, I should say. Now is the time in our service when we invite contributions to help our ministries grow and thrive. Our tech people will post a slide with the URL for donating through the website and the church address if you would like to send a check. You can also simply go to your website, to our website, sanjoseuu.org, and click on Donate on the top right corner of the homepage. On the screen, look for the pull-down menu to designate whether it's general donation, payment toward pledge, monthly special collection, or something else. Please give what you can, and remember, if your presence among us is all you can give today, that is enough. Thank you. to the work of the church, which is making love visible in all we say and do, we dedicate ourselves and these offerings.
So the reading today is just a group of words from various important figures in now and in history, some words to reflect upon. So you have your own list of the words that we're going to be reading, and Dana and I are going to be sharing them.
I think we need to get a little closer
So
to that.
can I be heard?
Can you hear her now?
Okay. See if I can. So the first reading is from Robert Kimball. He was the president of Star King, where I went to school for the ministry. No longer with us, but he said some very important things that I remember anyway. And one of them was, do what you really want to do anywhere in the world.
From Abram Maslow, it isn't normal to know what we want. It is a rare and difficult psychological achievement.
And from Joseph Campbell, what happens when you climb to the top of the ladder and discover it's against the wrong wall?
From Joanne Jenkins, CEO of AARP, life crisis is a time when we reassess our achievements in terms of our dreams.
And from the infamous Oprah Winfrey, the hardest part of getting older is recognizing the time you wasted and the things you worried about that really didn't matter. The best part of getting older is being able to be free to be and do whatever you want to do.
From Hermann Hesse, I tried the way of reality, where the things that count are profession, law, fashion, finance, but delusioned, I fled to the other side, the place of dreams.
And another reading from Hesse, I increased the world's guilt and anguish by not daring to walk toward my own salvation. The way to salvation leads into your heart, and there also is God, and there alone is peace.
From Harriet Tubman, every great dream begins with a dreamer. As always, remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world.
Eleanor Roosevelt, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
An inspiring contemporary activist, Emma Gonzalez, American activist, survivor of Parkland shootings. So it's time to start doing something. And now we take time to lift up the joys and sorrows, the names and occasions that are on our hearts this morning. In a moment, I'm going to sound the singing bowl, and after I do, I invite you to speak aloud into this space or type into the chat with words overlapping others' words, any joys or sorrows, any names or occasions that you would like lifted up into this community, in this embracing meditation. All that has been shared and all that is too tender yet to share, and which we hold in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. We offer these into the embrace of this beloved community. If you need a listening ear this week, after the service, you can stop by the pastoral care table in Hattie Porter Hall, where you can light a candle and talk to our pastoral associate of the week, which be me, or you can email pastoralassociates@sanjoseu.org. Remember, you are not alone.
Please join me in a period of meditation and prayer. Close your eyes, soften your gaze, open your heart. Now is a safe time. This is a safe place to be tender. Let us join together in silence, the silence of our breathing. Spirit of life that connects each of us to all, hold in your wide embrace the joys and the sorrows, both spoken and kept quietly in the sanctuary of our hearts. Let us know that we are not alone. I now invite you to remain seated and join together in the meditation hymn, Spirit of Life, 123. Remain seated.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I appreciate very much this opportunity to be here with you, particularly when you have your refurbished church, but it's always been one of the most beautiful churches I've known, one of the most beautiful Unitarian churches. So thanks so much for this opportunity. So my message this morning, I will be addressing, or actually advocating for, dreams as a way of transcending the compliance which the world around us seems so much a part of every day. And also I'll be addressing travel in a time of travel, and talking about a way in which dreams and travel came together in my story. In a way, I feel a little awkward about talking about the importance of dreams when we live with so much tragedy every day. But I still believe in dreams, and I still want to stand up for them. So I'm going to be speaking about the horse that almost got away and following your dreams. Oops. Got so many papers here. Sorry, something got mixed up here. Okay. So it begins with a story, the story of the horse that almost got away. So I'm driving the Chianti Dena. It's the primary road through the Chianti wine country in Italy. It's something like the road through the Napa Valley in Northern California, with vineyards and wineries on both sides. It's narrow. It's one lane in each direction. The traffic slows through each of a series of small towns and speeds up in between them. So I'm on my way home from a successful, though nerve-wracking journey. I found the place that Marco, my maestro di ballo, recommended for buying ballroom dance shoes. It's a hole in the wall, really, out by the airport in the fringes of Florence. I'm feeling pretty pleased with myself for having the courage to set out on this quest, completely alone in completely unfamiliar territory. Only after I'm skimming the Chianti hills, patterned with the vineyards and olive groves, does it come to me with an energy almost sexual. I relish this time alone. I crave it. I hear myself sing to myself an exultant, almost hymn. My life is my own, all this. Suddenly, I stab for the brake with my right foot, simultaneously stabbing for the clutch with my left to avoid stalling. A horse, a tall sorrel, is trotting down the highway with saddle, without rider. He's traveling the same direction I am, but in the other lane, the oncoming traffic lane on the left. And on my right, the horse traveling this way with the traffic that way and that lane. And then on my right, in the grassy edge of the road, the rider is running after the horse. He's a colorful young man in a bright red shirt with a jaunty feather in his Robin Hood style hat. And he's running and calling, but his horse shows no sign of heeding. In fact, what was previously a trot has turned into a gentle gallop, and the prankster turns a piebald eye toward his panting owner. The young man is puffing and puffing, galloping himself, then slowing to a walk, only to gallop again. Luckily, no oncoming traffic has made its appearance yet, but it can't be long before a feisty Peugeot comes racing around the bend. The traffic in my lane in accommodation has slowed to a snail's pace. Still, it's moving faster than the young man, though not as fast as his runaway horse, who has vanished around the curve up ahead. So I pass the young man, and clearly he is not going to catch his horse on foot. Heaving, he's been forced to a walk. This is an extremely dangerous situation. The Italians don't seem to invest themselves in the plight of the horse or of this frantic young man. Cheeks red with exertion, he has black hair soaked with sweat creeping out under that feathered hat. And so the shy straniera, stranger, in me, with little command of the Italian language, taught never to give a strange man a ride in my own country, surprises herself. In my concern over the plight of the horse and rider, I lose myself, my timid self, and a stronger self emerges, who without self-conscious forethought simply acts. I just pull over, and as the young man comes up alongside the car, I offer him a ride. He gladly accepts. Muy peligroso, I say, my years of Spanish automatically clicking in. Yes, very dangerous, he says, concurring, knowing English, as well as some Spanish, as many Italians do. We round another bend, and up ahead there is the horse, galloping toward his friends, the young man says. The horse goes to his friends. And after a pause, not sure I've understood, he offers in way of explanation, his friends, the other horses. And also up ahead are the young man's friends on horseback, apparently members of the same riding group. And one has hold of the bridle of the runaway horse. We drive up, and my young man here jumps out as fast as he can, and in his excitement barely has time to say thank you. He grabs the reins of that horse. As I leave behind, I can see through my rear view mirror, 1 foot raised toward the stirrup. He's preparing to mount. I've gone driving on, that's it. So stepping into the unknown takes courage, a kind of courage I rarely muster in the United States. So in Italy, I'm challenged to call it forth again and again. It's a courage that sets me free, not only to dream, but to bring my dreams into reality. So today I'm talking about traveling, and I'm talking about dreaming, and how through traveling, 2 of my dreams have interlocked in a magical way. The 2 dreams are dancing and Tuscany. So I'm standing up for dreams and for the endeavor to pull what the land of dreams is made of through to the land of earth. It's a struggle, and it requires the hand of grace to bring a dream into reality. I want to tell you my story, and I hope that you will find in it an affirmation of your own dreams and of the desire to bring them into reality and the courage to try. See, like Jane Seymour, I don't know how many of you remember this movie star, but she was television's Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. And I've always, like her, wanted to be a dancer. And Jane, a contestant on Dancing with the Stars, any of you watch that? Jane says that she had always wanted to be a dancer, and now in her 50s, she finally had a chance. She said, it's never too late. So my dream goes back to childhood when I was studying ballet. I wanted to be a ballerina like Maria Tallchief. A little later, inspired by these old Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movies, I dreamed of ballroom dancing with a romantic partner. I quit ballet when I was a teen to make room for boys. And I let go of the dream of doing everything a man can do but backward in high heels, as Ginger Rogers was reputed to be able to do. I let go of those for all the good reasons you can imagine: marriage, divorce, career, the serious stuff. Occasionally I went out social dancing, but eventually dancing disappeared from my life completely. So my dream resurfaced in my early 40s when a fellow graduate student at Starr King asked me to go along with her to a ballroom dance class, followed by a tea dance. She didn't feel comfortable going by herself. The teacher, a bit seedy, with unkempt hair and salt and pepper beard, greeted us and told us that the class would be in American Tango. As the lesson got underway, he called on me, a beginner, to help him demonstrate the basic figures. I was very, very complimented and a bit scared, but I managed to follow him through the figures. My ballet training helped. And afterwards, he asked me if I had had tango lessons previously. When I answered no, he seemed surprised and went on to say that I must be a natural dancer. Right then, that long-buried seed showed signs of life that later developed into a full-fledged determination on my part to realize my dancing dream, not knowing if I ever could sufficiently. Dream 2, Tuscany. So my passion for dancing coincides with another passion, Italy, and most particularly Tuscany. On a Sunday afternoon, I was watching that travel show on PBS that I always mix him up if it's Rick Steves or Steve Ricks. Well, on a Sunday afternoon, I was watching him. He was talking about the Cinque Terre in Italy, high above the Ligurian Sea. He was walking along this rugged path, the blue of the sea, way above the blue of the sea, and the astonishing beauty of that sea and of the 5 ancient towns interspersed along the way, rising up from the blue, totally captivated me. I said to myself, I want to walk the Cinque Terre. The desire to walk the Cinque Terre grew into a determination to go to Italy, something that in the past I would simply have let slip by me, bracketed as unrealistic, too much trouble. Less than a year later, I was spending several weeks in a small Tuscan town that no one had ever heard of and still hasn't, Brenna. Anybody ever heard of Brenna? It's on the River Mersey, south of Siena. And it was one of the most beautiful periods I've ever spent with my parents, whom I talked into going with me. I had really never seen, or rarely seen, my mother so happy. She loved the place, the house, the terrace, this little town with only one street, a tiny cave of a grocery store, and a single tremendously popular pizzeria that served marvelous mussels and trout. And yes, I did see the Cinque Terre after the time in Brenna. I didn't have the hike I hoped for, but we three took a rocking boat ride from Lerici, the northernmost point, or the southernmost point, along the coast to Monterosso, the northernmost town of the Cinque Terre. And I learned I could do it. I could, with intention, fulfill a dream. Only 3 years later, my mother died suddenly of a massive bleed. The time I had with her and with my father in Tuscany turned out to be a special gift, a fulfillment by the powers that be of a very beautiful dream. So I've always been a dreamer, but I haven't always had the courage of my convictions. I have another side. It's the stronger of the two for most of my life. It's the inner voice that says, you're selfish. It's a voice that society has largely adopted. A pragmatic voice that says, you have to compromise your dreams. A judgmental voice that says, hard work is what it's all about. A moral voice that says, think about others, not yourself. The prevalence and power of the accusing voice that says you're selfish was brought home to me by my students, a class of working adults who had enrolled in this interdisciplinary master's degree program in the humanities at St. Mary's. The introductory course is called It's About Time. And in that course, I asked the students to introduce themselves by describing what time means to them or what their experience of time is like. In one group of 20 students, one class of 20 students, 17 of them, including every woman in the class, used the word selfish in introducing themselves. They said they felt selfish taking time for themselves, and particularly in enrolling in this course of studies, which was oriented toward personal enrichment rather than job enhancement. I feel selfish because it's for me, they repeatedly said, in one way or another. And my mother might have been among this group of women, as I am. I've incorporated the voice that says, you're selfish, and I carry the indictment within me. The voice of pragmatism, like my father, sounds like, that voice sounds like my father. He used to say, Jeannie, you have to compromise. And when he was a young man with a wife and a child, he felt he had to compromise his dream of being a fine artist in order to make a living, and so he focused on commercial art. Hence his admonition to me, you have to compromise. He returned to serious painting only after he retired at the age of 70. And no doubt there is truth in the message of compromise. It is certainly a voice that I have incorporated and which has informed much of my life. But I think we're too quick to compromise the values that make life worthwhile for the values of the marketplace. Again, my students have made this clear to me, how much this kind of compromise demoralizes them. Many of them are financially successful. They've accessed the material goods that they so much wanted. But in this course, in which they read the autobiographies of persons who have made significant life choices that have impacted society, the life stories of Gandhi, of Elie Wiesel, of Dorothy Day, Helen Prejean. In reading these biographies, an underlying longing often surfaces of what one might call a spiritual nature. They often complain that they don't have time for the things that matter: family, leisure, nature, contemplation, the good society. They complain that despite the material acquisitions, they still don't feel fulfilled. They want something more. And the more is often voiced as a desire to make a difference, to do something for the poor, to write creatively, to smell the flowers. I believe this is a way of saying that they have compromised their hopes and dreams. And the Course provides a context in which their hopes and dreams are reawakening. I'm glad that my father returned to painting, but I hope it doesn't have to take us some 50 years to begin to realize our dreams. The British psychoanalyst D.W. Winnicott, whose distinctive contribution to the understanding of human development is based on his work as a pediatrician. His work validates the dreamer side of me. In his work, Playing and Reality, it's now a classic work of reference. He examines what in a child's early development opens the way to creative living throughout life. He writes, and I quote, "It is creative apperception, more than anything else, that makes the individual feel that life is worth living. Contrasted with this is a relationship to external reality, which is one of compliance," he says, "the world and its details being recognized, but only as something to be fitted in with, or demanding adaptation. Compliance," he says, "carries with it a sense of futility for the individual and is associated with the idea that nothing matters and that life is not worth living. In a tantalizing way," he goes on to say, "many individuals have experienced just enough of creative living to recognize that for most of their time, they are living uncreatively, as if caught up in the creativity of someone else or in the creativity of a machine." End of quote. The voices that say you're selfish, you have to compromise, are the introjected voices of compliance, what he calls compliance. The voices that say, listen to your dreams, follow your passions, you can make your dreams come true, are the voices of what Winnicott calls universal creativity, universal creativity. It's a creativity that belongs to being alive, he says, a creativity that belongs to all of us. It enables us to experience life as satisfying and meaningful rather than bound by the laws of compliance to a life of dissatisfaction, pent-up anger, and loss of meaning. So creativity is a force over against the power of compliance. In a world confusing, conflicted, frightening, I am standing up for dreams, for following your dreams, large or small, for the desire to realize your dreams, and for the courage to try. Well, I'm not alone. Take heart from Winnicott, Maslow, Hesse, Campbell, Roosevelt, Oprah Winfrey. It was hard for me to muster the courage to travel, but through travel, my two dreams have intersected fortuitously, Tuscany and dancing. Less than a month after I was in Tuscany, I found myself beginning to write these words, which I am sharing with you today. Sitting in a stone farmhouse, it used to be a house for the sheep, in a medieval borgo above Greve and Chianti, the setting sun turning the pine trees gold. And in Tuscany, I found my maestro di ballo, Marco, a master of dance, who has awakened in me the technique and the freedom to really dance the way I always imagined I could. When our dream is slipping away and we're doing everything in our power to recapture it, how foolish we can look to the outside world. Take, for instance, that young man puffing on foot down the highway, seeing the distance between him and his horse grow. I don't know the real story behind the horse that almost got away, but I believe that young man was following his dream, much as I am and much as we all are, a dream that almost got away. Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. What's next?
My dream is to be a singer someday.
Say that again, I didn't hear it.
My dream is to be a singer someday.
Okay.
Please stand.
108 in the gray hymnal. My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, the far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music
think I'd like to end with a benediction that comes from the words of another great poet, the Irish poet, William Butler Yeats. He says, "I would spread the cloths under your feet, but I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams." So be it.